All right, let's be honest. There is nothing that messes more with a man's head than a woman who is showing interest, high level of interest, and then she just completely pulls the rug and ghosts you. Sound familiar? Well, we've all been there. And maybe it was a scenario where she slowly started to pull back, slower on the text message responses. The texts become shorter, more concise. She's showing less enthusiasm. And then maybe she just completely dropped it all together and you haven't heard from her. Does that sound familiar? Well, it's the most frustrating thing ever. And there's a lot of different reasons why a woman will ghost you. But let me just share with you the craziest experience I had. Now, there's a couple that are in the running, but this one particular absolutely wrecked me. So I was in combat in the U.S. Marines. I had just turned 21 when I was over in Afghanistan in 2012. And I met this girl online about 4 months before I came back. And it was actually Match.com. Yes, I paid for Match.com when I was 21 years old. And this was before, I think, Bumble and Hinge and all that. So I met this girl. We talked in advance, did some video calls together, and started to build some rapport for about 4 months leading until I came back to the U.S. So I come back to the U.S., and the first time that we hung out was absolutely amazing. I mean, we were physical together, and think about on a deployment, I haven't been with a woman in 7 months. It was absolutely incredible. So the physical chemistry was there, and she lived in a different state. I'm not going to throw out names or locations, but I was stationed in North Carolina in Jacksonville at Camp Lejeune. She was about 11 to 12 hours driving distance from me. Now, we dated for a few months, technically for 5 months. We saw each other roughly once a month in that period. And I really liked this girl, but I was really young. I got her pregnant one time when I was on leave. And we decided that we were going to go through with it and actually have the kid. We told our family. I had built a bond with this woman. Of course, I didn't truly love her because I was so young and I didn't truly love myself. But I think we were confusing love with infatuation, and obviously the chemicals that you have when you're intimate are released. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between whether this is love or this is just the chemicals from being physical with someone and intimate. Anyway, I digress. She got pregnant. Okay. Now, I was hardly making any money. I was 21 years old, about 21 and a half. And I was a young kid, basically. I didn't know shit about life. I was just trying to figure it out myself. But I knew that I still had at least 2 years left in the military. So, long story short, man, I was way over the top with her. So I was always trying to text her. I was so readily available, of course, because I had a big heart and I cared. And I wanted to try to make it work. Maybe she was going to move up to live in the city that I was, and we would make it work, because she decided that she wanted to go through with it. And we told our families. Everyone was happy for us. You figure out a way to make it work. You find a way to make it happen, one way or another. And I would have been okay either way, but she came from a Christian family, and I know that her parents were encouraging her to keep the child. So I was just being way over the top, though. I felt like I was suffocating her. I didn't give her any space to breathe. She was trying to finish school and get into a career to be a nurse. And I was texting her all the time. It was way over the top. And I never gave her any breathing room. But of course, having a long distance relationship like that, it's tough, because you want the person to know that you're there for them, especially in a situation like this, which is quite unique. Now, she ghosted me out of nowhere. So what happened was, she had decided out of nowhere, she flipped a 180 on me, went completely cold, and decided she wanted to have an abortion. I cried so much. I was heartbroken. I mean, this absolutely destroyed me, especially And you can't miss this. This is huge, especially after she told me she went to the doctor, got an ultrasound, and she heard a heartbeat. It wrecked me, bro. It was still one of the biggest heartbreaks that I had, and it left such a deep wound. She said the last thing that I ever heard from her was, "I'm going tomorrow. I'll let you know when it's done." And I said, "Don't even bother." It was really hard for me, but I was putting so much pressure on her. I wasn't ever trying to put myself in her shoes to see her perspective. And I remember talking to her parents. I was so over the top, man. I didn't let this girl breathe, and I was still a kid. So my point is, I never got the closure from that situation that I wanted. I never talked to her again. I know she's married now, has kids and everything, but I never got the closure that I needed. And that was literally one of the toughest things. There was another girl that I dated as well, which also, this is crazy. This was that was in 2012. This was in this other girl. I got another girl pregnant when I was in college. I've got some strong swimmers, dude. I guess I do. This girl was in college. She was 3 years younger than me. And a similar kind of situation happened. And we dated for 3 months, it was about 4 months. And the third time that we were intimate with each other, I guess allegedly she got pregnant. She was going to keep the kid, but then she decided to have an abortion. And, she ghosted me for an entire year, bro. For an entire year, I didn't even talk to her. Again, I was being way too much. I was way too over the top. I was suffocating her. I wasn't giving her any space. And I realized I had to look at myself in the mirror. I might be the problem. Maybe these women are damaged. Maybe these women are toxic. Maybe these women don't have good communication skills. Maybe they are fucked up. Okay, sure, fine. But I had some role in it too. So I had to see the pattern in my life of what was happening and take some accountability. Okay, so why do women ghost? I just wanted to sum those stories up so it could hit home for you. Why do women ghost? They ghost for a lot of reasons. All right. Now, these days with dating apps and social media and validation, women ghost for so many reasons, man. Maybe she just, number one, wasn't that interested in you. She lost interest. Maybe she had matched with you on the dating apps, or she met you in person and she was just trying to be nice. Or maybe some other guy came around, because these women are talking to a ton of different dudes. Okay. So on the dating apps, think about if it's an attractive woman who's at least a 7 or an 8 out of 10, well, probably at least a 6, but at least a 7 out of 10, right? She's getting at least 100 likes a week. Okay, so she's got to go through all that stuff. So maybe she's just not that interested in you. Maybe she wasn't really even to begin with. Maybe she was interested in you one day, and then the next day she's not, because maybe you said something that turned her off. Maybe she felt a vibe that felt kind of off, Also, women create this image, this fantasy, this idea of who you are in their mind sometimes. And then when you don't live up to that expectation, then she loses interest because you didn't align with her fantasy that she created in her head, okay? I didn't make it up. It's crazy, but it's just how they are. Another guy came along. Some other dude came along, was a better option. Why she lost interest, why she ghosted you. You didn't hold your frame. You're texting back too quickly. You're too available. You're acting overly interested. You're over invested. Okay. And maybe she's getting a vibe from you that you have low social proof. What do I mean by that? She's getting a vibe that she is your only option. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. Okay. Especially if you were not blessed in the looks department that much, bro, you cannot be acting like she is the only one. And actually, I encourage you guys to be talking to multiple women. Now, I understand ultimately it's a lot of energy and time investing in talking to different women. Okay, but in the beginning stages of trying to vet through these women to find a good quality woman, you don't want to be just talking to one woman. You put all your eggs in one basket, and what happens? What's happened? She runs away with all your eggs, and we don't want to be in that position. Okay, so why do women ghost? Because she felt something real between you guys, a connection, and she was scared of it. She ran away. She's scared of her feelings. Maybe she has an avoidant type of What am I trying to say? Yeah, maybe she's an avoidant type of person. Attachment style, avoidant. Run away from these women. Run very far. Run for the fucking hills. An avoidant woman will start to run away from emotions when things start to get close, when they start to feel real. And she ghosted you because maybe she got insecure. She didn't feel worthy of you. Maybe you're a really good looking guy. You got the money, you got the status and the body and everything else, but she didn't feel worthy of you. By the way, a lot of these women out here, some of the best looking women you will ever see are some of the most insecure. Okay? High quality women out here, 20 to 30% absolute max. I'm talking about someone who is emotionally, spiritually, right? Healthy. Okay? She got scared. Also, why did she ghost you? She got a better option. She's got better options lined up. You didn't stand out. That's why I'm always saying, you guys got to be on your purpose. You got to be on your money, your body. You got to be having a strong social circle. You got to have dudes in your life that are solid dudes that are getting after it, okay? You made her the center of your world. As soon as a woman starts to see that she is the center of your world, she gets repelled by it. You are not on your mission. You're not on your purpose. You don't make it look like you have other priorities. Now, look, guys and girls are completely different. Bro, I have a ton of guys I talk to, my close-knit tribe of dudes. I'm fucking busy with work. I'm busy in the gym. I'm busy with YouTube. I'm busy. But I can still make time for these women. I can still make time for everything else in my life. And if I really wanted to, I could spend more time with these women and talking to the women that I'm talking to. Because right now, I'm talking to like at least 4 or 5, like, I don't know. Okay, like a handful of them. I could be more available, but I have other priorities. Okay? I have other things going on in my life. Women is not a top priority for me, and it should not be a top priority for you. So that's that, all right? Also, why did she ghost? You gave off subtle red flags. Needy behavior. You're too available. You gave off needy behavior. You gave off weak behavior. You're not in your frame. Maybe she noticed that you have a temper and that you're not emotionally, you don't have good emotional control. You don't have emotional regulation. I mean, it could be anything, bro. Maybe you start talking about the future with her and it scared her. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a million things that it could be. Okay? But ghosting sucks. I know it's painful. It sucks, but it could be a number of things, bro. And look, I still get ghosted. These women are busy too, bro. They're busy. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, you have to be focusing on you. What are you going to do if you get ghosted? Okay. Well, you have to pull back. You cannot act overly interested, and you definitely cannot chase. The last thing you want to do is the first thing that most guys are doing, and that's you want to chase harder. You don't want to do that. You need to be talking to multiple women. You need to have options. And you need to be busy building your life. Okay, so there's a girl right now that ghosted you. This is all the reasons why, potentially, okay? This is what you do when she ghosts you. You keep living your life, bro. If she already checked out, if she lost interest, you got to keep moving on. Don't even think about her. You have to keep busy with your life. A woman got to the point where she doesn't, all these women have their phone, bro. If she's taking like more than a day or two to respond to your messages, she ain't interested, bro. If she can't agree to hang out and confirm a time to get up, to meet with you, she's not that interested. Women make time for guys they're really interested in. Stop being in denial. What do you do if she ghosts you? Keep hitting the gym. Keep hanging out with your friends. Keep talking and dating other women. Replace her with a different girl. Get on your purpose. Get busy. Get building your life. Get building your body. Get building whatever it is in your life. Spend time with family and friends. And spend time with people who actually fucking want to spend time with you. Fuck these women, bro. Like, they're all good women out here. Focus on the ones who have a high level of interest. So on a scale of 1 to 10, you should not be fucking with any women who don't have at least a 7 level of interest. Because why? Why else? Your time, your energy are the 2 most precious things you have. You don't fuck with friends or women that don't value you. But you need to get on your purpose and you need to get after it. You need to be building. Life is competitive. It's a competitive dating market. It's a competitive job market. It's fucking competitive, bro. And if you are not constantly upgrading and leveling up yourself in your life, you are cooked. You are absolutely cooked. If right now you are working a job that you don't like, if you're not really working out that much, if you're just playing video games, maybe playing golf on the weekends, you don't like your job, you don't really have friends that are getting after it, and you just started, on the dating apps and you got a girl that you're talking to and she hasn't talked to you, in a few days or a couple weeks or whatever, and you only have one woman you're talking to, bro, if this is your life right now, this is depressing as fuck. You are cooked. Because even if it doesn't work out with this woman that you're dealing with, you're cooked for the rest of them too. When you meet another woman, you're cooked, bro. You need options. So anyway, hope this video helps you guys. If you found it helpful, hit the like button, comment down below. Let me know what you're going through right now. This is an open community here, and this is The Ascended Man, where I help you forge strength, elevate your spirit, and lead with purpose. So don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend. Peace.